Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here. This time reviewing on my second episode review on Spidey-tember, and this one is on the second episode of the first season of Spectacular Spider-Man Interaction. Now, Interactions is meant to be the second episode in the Spectacular Spider-Man film series, and was also directed by Troy Adonis, as well as being written by Kevin Hobbs. So the premise of this episode is kind of meant to feature how Dr. Connors shows their sort of new project, which is using genetically modified electric eels as a new source of clean energy. We kind of see how a sort of electrician known as Max Dillon ends up kind of getting electrocuted and kind of ending up kind of getting powers. We also kind of see how Peter is tasked by his teacher to Liz Allen. And I think the episode, in my opinion, is slightly weaker, but it knows what it wants to be. I think that the good part I like about the episode is that it gives you a time for Liz to kind of be introduced to Peter's world. And you can kind of tell Peter knows that Liz is pouring the whole dumb girl routine to fit into Flash and his cronies' world. And it kind of makes me feel like I'm watching an episode of Symbiotic Titans with Kimmy and Octus. And I kind of think, yeah, having Max Dillon put into the second episode feels a little rushed, like we don't know much about him. But I think throughout the episode, I think the point of Max Dillon becoming Electro is meant to be a foreshadowing to Eddie Brock. We see how, much like Eddie, Max is meant to be a little smug at the start, but we kind of see how once he gets his powers, he takes out his frustrations, his anger, his insecurity, and problems on Connors, much like how Eddie takes out his frustrations out on Peter later on in Season 1. So I think this was done as a possible foreshadowing to what was going to come with the whole Venom storyline. And I think it's interesting how Spectacular Spider-Man used the idea of the whole electric eels thing. Something that I think the Amazing Spider-Man 2 got right. And I think Spider-Man, the new animated series, and even the Amazing Spider-Man 2 got right at, with Spider-Man, the new animated series, Max was kind of used as a way to show what could have happened had Peter picked power over responsibility and been the world's punching bag still. And I think the point of Max in The Amazing Spider-Man 2 just wanted to feel noticed and accepted, but we kind of saw how, due to his approval seeking, it kind of damaged him badly. I think there's also, what I like about it is that they do kind of change Electro's costume, not giving him the goofy star mask, but making him kind of like in a sort of green jumpsuit with electrical abilities, and not having the kind of giant star mask. And I think, in my opinion, Crispin Freeman, who also voiced Red Arrow in Young Justice, really does kind of play this character who's smug, but you can tell over time does kind of feel like he wanted to go the distance, but wasn't going to. And you can tell there's signs that Peter does kind of realize that maybe his crime fighting is kind of costing him some mistakes. Like, yeah, his curfew, not really seeing what happened with Max. And you can kind of tell Connors does feel responsible, despite the fact that Max kind of didn't really pay attention to what he was doing, making it a symbolism to what Eddie will eventually become, Venom. I think the episode is weaker, but it's not bad. So I think it deserves a thumbs in the middle. It's a good episode. I just think they could have focused more on building Max up had they had 20 episodes or 26. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.